Welcome back with another episode, man. Episode 34, man. How everyone doing today? What's up, Rudy? What's up, Jay?
What's good, bro? What's good? Chilling, chilling.
Hey, what's going on, Jay? What's going on, RJ?
Hey, that's a good picture for you now.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. With lighting it up with the little rectangle. Yeah. I'm feeling that right there.
All right, I'm making sure, man. Stay happy with the picture, man. You got to make sure. But let's get it started, though, man. First round, man. First round. Lakers defeated Minnesota 95-85 to even the series 1-1. What adjustment do you think Minnesota needs to make to win Game 3?
Go ahead, Rudy.
First,
Go ahead, Rudy.
well, what adjustment? I mean, I really don't know. I'm more focused on my Lakers. What adjustment can they make? Because the obvious is that you playing against LeBron James and Luca. What adjustment can you make? We don't know. But one thing that I can tell you, RJ and Jay, is that last night I was watching the game. I was very happy from the get-go with the enthusiasm and the energy that the Lakers came with as opposed to the previous game. We see a complete dominance, throughout pretty much the whole game, except for the fourth quarter that we, took our, feet from, the gas and allow them to reduce the score. I mean, the lead from, I think, into 11. And ultimately, we won by what? We won by 9 points, if I remember correctly. But maybe we won by 11 or 9 points. I don't remember correctly, but this is exactly what was expected. But ultimately, what I can tell you, the series is just going back to what we all expected. There's no secret about it. We all know from the history of the game and the history of playoff, when you combine somebody like LeBron James and Luka Doncic, and of course on the other side you have Ant-Man and of course Ant-Man and Randall, the power the power goes to LeBron James and LeBron James and Luka Doncic. No secret. It's no secret. The series going back to what we all expected. There's no knock on Ant-Man. There's no knock on Randall. But the analogy to this is that hey, we all in the black community, we love us some Cadillac, we love us some Mercedes. But when you put alongside, when you put a Lamborghini or when you put a Ferrari, beside them. So we see the difference. So ultimately, this is exactly what it comes down to. Lakers gonna come back on top ultimately. The only aberration was in the first game where I would say the Lakers. I think the Lakers came out, with low energy because they thought that they were going to cruise into the win, but the unexpected happened where the Wolves won the first game because obviously I would say Luka was the one who was, hogging the ball too much combined with LeBron James who was a little bit too passive. They won the first game, but second game they came and do exactly what they were supposed to. We see LeBron James was much more aggressive yesterday. We see Luka, even though he scored the same, but he was passing the ball. Also, he was rebounding the ball. We see, Austin Reeves, he scored 16 points. So it was a complete, team effort, and they won the game just like they supposed to. So there's no surprise here. The Lakers is back. Lakers is back in, just like we all expected. They could get game one. They could get and one. Hell, they could get anyone. But guess what? Lakers in five. So this is exactly what happened.
What you think, Boogie? What adjustment you think Minnesota needs to win Game 3?
Well,
Or you could say what
the
adjustment
adjustment
Lakers need to make.
is what's full name? McDaniels. Him. You got to score. You can't have 8 points and expect to beat the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? The first game he went stupid and he came out lackadaisy this game. So he get them 10 to 15 points. That's the adjustment they needed is out of him. But I don't like them beating Lakers though. It was a defensive game last night. Lakers came out, punched them in the mouth first quarter, especially Luka did. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be back and forth. I tell you that. I don't know about no game
Lakers are
5. I don't know about that, but it's gonna be back and forth. We going to Minnesota 2 times right now, so I know they're gonna take one of them. Whether it's 3 or 4, they taking one of them, and we gotta hope to pull out the last 3. They taking one. I guarantee you that they ain't losing both on their floor, and ain't letting that happen.
I don't think. Well, I mean, it's okay and it's understandable, Boogie, for you to say that because, especially from what we know the Lakers are, because they can be very good, but also they can be slacking at the same time. But I think ultimately, what it comes down to when it comes to the series, it comes down to the Lakers doing exactly what they're supposed to. There's no way on earth that the Lakers would allow Anthony Edward to come and dominate and win the series or even make it competitive. It all come down to the Lakers doing exactly what they can do. Because when you're looking at the series alone, what you see, just like I was trying to describe it, you have LeBron James and Luka on one side, and you have Ant-Man and Randall on the other side. Which one would you choose? You have to choose the Lakers because one, they have obviously they have the scoring, they have the brain, um, they have the experience in LeBron James. Of course, you have the coaching also. And of course, our bench is good. So you have to choose the Lakers. It's going to be competitive. But at the same time, if the Lakers do exactly what they're supposed to do, there's no way that this series is a competitive. Is
That's the thing. That's always
and
been the
as
thing.
we all who've been watching the league for a long period of time already predicted that the Lakers should win this.
Yeah, that's the thing though. If Lakers can always play like how everybody expect the Lakers to play, they should win the championship. But that's not always how it goes. So that's why I said they gonna win one on their floor,
For me, I'm gonna
just off the
say
strength.
say it again, Boogie.
I was saying just off the strength of Ant, they're gonna win one off the floor. And Randall is really Randall doing his thing since the series started. He's putting in work. He making LeBron work. That first
Yeah,
quarter, they
yeah.
had LeBron running, bro. They had LeBron switching, running. Hey, better hope that boy might need some IV on the sideline when they call timeout. They making that boy run. But go
I ain't
Um,
gonna
ahead, bro.
lie. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah,
He's like he being aggressive with LeBron too. He pounding
Yeah,
him too.
yes, because that 40-year-old body ain't that Miami Heat body no more. You know what I'm saying? So all that banging, that shit hurt when you're 40. He lose some of that strength when you're 40. You still, I mean, he's still big and physical, but he ain't the same big and physical from like Miami and Cleveland days. So Randall is basically damn near his prime. You know what I'm saying? Strength, strong, and he putting in work right now. He making LeBron work. And Randall on some shit. That's all I'm saying.
um, I let me just rebuttal Bookie's point, RJ.
Yeah.
I can foresee some level of competition down the stretch. I mean, throughout the series, but for a completely different reason, Boogie. Um, Obviously, when it comes to LeBron James, he always faces some challenges when it comes to players like Randall guarding him. We saw it, back, I would say years ago when he was playing against Kawhi Leonard, physically strong, long arm that can guard and score at the same time. And Randall can do the same thing, not to the same level as Kawhi Leonard. Of course, LeBron James is going to face this challenge. But if RJ asks the question, what can they do defensively? I'm not even sure it's about their defense, although, yes, you have to bring your defense. But I think it's more of a strategy. If they think that the way for them to win or compete against the Lakers is to bring superpower, just like you were saying, Anthony Edward doing what he does, which is scoring the basket, or Randall trying to score the basket. If they're going to try to go this way, guess what? Lakers going to be in 5, and the reason for it is because you
I give you
cannot go
that.
pound to pounds against LeBron James and Luka, in that series this way. What you can do is do exactly what they did in the first round. They have somebody like Anthony Edwards playing point guard. What does that mean? It's not just holding the ball, but get everybody involved. You attack the rim, and put this to the side. You push the ball outside for people to shoot threes. If he
Yeah, that's true.
this is where they get a chance for them to make the series competitive. But if Ant gonna try to be the superhero that he's accustomed, that they're accustomed to, he's gonna go down. The Lakers gonna win in the 5 because there's no way. We have the coach, we have the brain, we have the experience for us to channel this energy against them. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's the right route for them to go. The way for them to go is to get everybody to play team basketball.
Play
And
team
then every
basketball.
now and then you can have Ant come and score,
See,
score efficiently. You know what I mean? But if
Because
you think that he's gonna go superhero on the Lakers, this is a wrap. It's a wrap. The Lakers gonna be in 5.
Boogie, listen,
I agree to
this game,
some
Boogie.
extent.
Hey, Boogie, you can hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Look, this game he has 0 assists. This is first time in like 3 years he has 0 assists.
But you see why? From the jump, they was down. They were
I
down
mean,
from the jump.
at this same time, you still gotta get your players involved. You see how they
Yes.
won, and you see how they won in fashion in the first
Here's
game
the thing,
when
Boogie.
he had 9
Okay, they
assists.
did. But you understand that Lakers ain't seen the league since like the second quarter or something like that. So it's okay to now. It's okay to facilitate, but first quarter and you jump ball and you down because one person is killing your whole team. You don't have time to assist the ball because nobody's really making shots but you and Randall. You get what
No,
I'm
it's
saying?
not.
Nobody.
It's
McDaniels
it's
ain't doing nothing. You got Rudy Gobert at the. I remember one play he had a smaller guy on him and he still missed them.
You could say you have a point what you're saying, but also you could also say that look at Nas Reed, he was in foul trouble. You had Dante, he was in foul trouble. So that probably limited at situation where he couldn't get the assists early. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. So now he got to play
it
superhero and
was
score.
just was not passing the ball, RJ. And this is exactly what we mean when you see Vegas put the Lakers on top. When we see that most people who know and understand basketball, been watching basketball for a long period of time, they choose the Lakers to win. This is exactly why we're talking about experience. What we mean by experience is how much is not the knowledge itself, because knowledge is one, but reflexes is another thing. So when we're talking about experience, it means that how much can you see at the right time and make the adjustment at the right time. When you're looking at the first game, Ant was going in the first game humble. We see a very humble Ant. He knows that he cannot win by himself. He knows that he has to get everybody involved. And then ultimately down the stretch of the game, he took off and scored probably on 20-something point. And then he went back-to-back threes. He came in the game with a different mentality. What happened because he won the first game, and then now he coming with his big chest in the second game, thinking that he's going to outplay the Lakers, both LeBron James and Luka, just like it did against KD, just like it did against Jokic last year. It's not going to happen. We have too much experience, too much of a good coach, too much of frontal cortex for us to let this happen. This is exactly what we mean by experience. I can foresee a different Ant in the third in game 3. But guess what? I know the Lakers are going to adjust as well. But ultimately, if he thinks that he's gonna come and beat his chest trying to win the game by himself, Lakers gonna be in 5.
Well,
All
no
right.
one can win. I agree. Nobody could win by themselves. That's why I said McDaniels is the key to the adjustments for Game 3 because Game 1 he played good. He had like 21 points.
Yeah,
That's
he missed only 2 shots.
yeah,
Missed only
exactly.
two
So
shots.
that was a big help. So if a player
But
comes
at the same
through,
time, but listen, not Rudy, Boogie. Same time, you can't you just you don't expect him to shoot
exactly.
that
That's why it's
level
a
again.
plus. That's why it's a plus. I don't expect him to get 21, but bro, you good for 10. At least give me 10.
Yeah,
You
but
That's
good for
true.
10 to 15 points. That's just like Derek
yeah,
White on Boston. You don't expect him to go for 30, but you expect him to give you 10 to 15 every night because he's capable of that.
yeah. But
But
the problem
let's
that they have is the fact that they have a ball dominant like Anthony Edwards. Understandably so, because he's young, he's out there, he's trying to make a name for himself. But that alone causes a problem when it comes to down the stretch of the season, because you going to play, it's about matchup. You're going to play people, you're going to play against people with experience like LeBron James and Luka. They're going to use it against you. You know what I mean? And this is exactly what happened in game two. He was too busy trying to score the basket, trying to outplay Braun and Luka. And guess what? The whole team pays for the consequences. I mean, pays
I mean, the
for the
whole
consequences.
team was off. The whole team was off, so
That's
he
true.
got to score.
Of
He
course,
got to score.
going to off Boogie when you have somebody ball dominant like Anthony Edward and not get everybody involved. Of course, you're gonna get cooked. That's just the reality of the game.
But on to the next. So what's up with Rudy? Is he like he can't play defense?
He never could. He never could. He's just a big man that's a good shot blocker. He defends the rim. That's it. As far as defense, he only checks off one box. He only checks off one box. That's it. He
It's
never
like
could
it's
play
like
defense.
it's
Every
like
time
they
you take
can't
him out there in that island, you see what happens when they bring him
exactly.
out there. He's a good shot blocker. He's good at defending the perimeter by the rim, and that's it. That's just checking
But
off
it's
one box.
by the same time it's weird because he won't forward them. So you expect a guy who won't forward them to be like, oh damn, you should be fearing him. But
No
guys
one
are
fears
not.
that. No one fears that. Set a pick, bring him out there, and he's lost. He's in space. Luka did it to him again last night. Took him
Plenty
straight to
of
the
time.
cup.
All three too.
Yeah. Man ain't got no defense, bro.
I'm like, if that was Dwight Howard, no one doing that. If that was
No.
Wemby, no one doing that.
Nope. AD, Bam, no one's doing that, bro. Like,
No.
them boys actually has defense. If you bring them out there, they can still guard 1 through 5, bro. But you bring Rudy, you bring Gobert out there.
It's like
Cha-ching.
dinner.
Yeah. Green light.
Boy, that's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. What you gotta say, Rudy?
I'm going to defend the Rudy as a Rudy. Yes, we've seen last year. We've seen last night. And of course, it's very easy to get on the bandwagon and criticizing Rudy Gobert, but the reality of it, for Rudy's size and height, of course, it's going to be very difficult, even impossible, hell, to go skillful and experienced and a scorer as Luka. It's not a knock on Rudy. That's the reality of it. When you have somebody of his height, it's just impossible to guard somebody as skillful as Luka. So of course he's three-time defensive player of the year. Yes, the nuance to this is the fact is that people think that when you win the defensive player of the year, it means that you can stop anyone. No, when they're looking at defense, there's different kind of defense. There's individual defense and there's collective defense. And Rudy Gobert, the reason why that he's won defensive player of the year is because of his height, the way that he protects the paint, and the impact that he has overall on the team as far as people not attacking the paint, especially in the regular season. But the matchup between him and Luka, of course, not a matchup to them. And it would not have been a good matchup against anybody. We talk about Luka, okay? So the dude that he has his own pace. He can shoot the ball behind the arc. He can go to the rim. Obviously, he can do too many things. It's just like it's not a good matchup for Rudy Gobert. But that alone doesn't take nothing away from his defensive powers. He's won three-time defensive
Come on,
player of the
four,
year.
four.
Respect him, but the kind
He
of
won 4
defense that
doing what?
for team defense as opposed to individual defense.
I mean, listen. You won the award. I respect you, but at the same time, people are gonna be like, "I'm not scared of you."
And no one is.
People, as people fear. People just
He's
like
not. He's not a good
Rudy.
defender,
Okay,
bro. He never
You
was. I
cannot
never
say
thought he
he's
was.
not a defender. You cannot say he's not a good defender because defense spread.
He's
Defense
he's good at
he's a
protecting
he's
the
a
paint.
he's a
That's it.
listen. He's a good team defender.
No, not even. I mean, he's good at protecting the
No,
paint. That's it.
he is a protecting the paint, a team defender.
That's it.
Here's a flip side to it. There are players that can. Here's the thing. There are players that can play great, even better individual defense, and that cannot have the impact that Rudy Gobert has playing defensive team defense. Defense exists on
Yeah, of course, because obviously because his size.
Effective defense also, Boogie.
You hear me?
Because his
size. Because his size.
Wemby is the same.
I mean,
Wemby is a 7'2". Wemby 7'2" and play better defense than him. Is a better defender than him.
Wembyama?
Yes, Wemby is a better defender.
No, that so we don't have record.
Why we keep talking about guys for?
What's the record?
Rudy, listen, Rudy. Wemby should have won last year until they put that record in. 65 games.
Here's the reality, RJ. Here's the reality. I'm not sitting there telling you that Wembyama is not or cannot be, because obviously he's young and he's as lengthy as Rudy Gobert. Matter of fact, I think he's taller than Rudy Gobert. He's younger. He has obviously the guts. He has the excitement and enthusiasm to play deep. We get all of it. But record-wise, what we have in the record is somebody like Rudy Gobert, who's been pretty much every year has the same impact on the team. And when it comes to defensive prowess, we cannot take.
No, I'm not taking.
He's just not a great individual defense.
Yes, correct.
Because of his height, especially playing against somebody like Luka, who's as skillful as anybody who's ever played.
It's correct. But at the same time, what I'm saying is, like, if you go down the list, the guys who won 3 defensive players of the years, these guys could guard the paint and guard the outside.
It's not that Rudy Gobert cannot guard outside, RJ. He's just that's not his forte because of his height.
How can you be defensive player of the year if you don't check off all the boxes? To be a defensive player of the year, you got to check off all boxes. You don't check off all the boxes.
He checks all the boxes, Boogie.
No, he don't.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't
check all the boxes.
The man can't go. He can't go outside and play defense.
What do you mean he cannot guard? He does, RJ. Y'all forget who he's playing against. He's playing against Luka. Tell me how many Luka do we have in the league?
Okay, everybody plays against Luka.
It's not even that, Rudy. But guys will say in the league. Listen, guys will say in the league, it's either go at Rudy Gobert. Easy.
I mean, listen, that can be the perception. Here's the reality of it. The reality of it is not just people like you and I who just, randomly talk about basketball. We have people that sit here the whole year who invest millions of dollars, okay?
Of course.
I'm not making them perfect in their decision, but at the same time, you cannot sit there and make a case that Rudy Gobert is not a great defender. He's a great defender. It's just that perimeter defense is not. That's all that is.
So okay, so this year, is he having a bad year?
I wouldn't say he has a bad year. It's just the matchup is not good for him. The reason why it's not fair, because even when you say defense, but there's a bias to it, because when you're looking at Anthony Davis, you don't only see his defensive ability. You see his ability also to score the basket, even shoot threes sometimes. The same can go for
offense, just defense.
No, we just talking about defense.
Just defense, Rudy.
Which I'm just talking about the bias with which we judge these players, even though we think about them defensively. But in the back of our mind, we're looking at them. We're looking at the other abilities that they have to not only shoot the basket, but also.
Okay,
so wouldn't they be? Wouldn't they be more tired if they doing offense and defense, and all Rudy is doing is defense? Because he really don't score like that on offense. And those other three do both sides.
But guess what? Luka would do the same thing. You cannot put AD on Luka. You cannot put Bam on Luka.
You're not answering the question. I gave you 4 people. Give me your order. Give me your order.
No. Hold on, Boogie. Switch it up. Put Ben Wallace, Dwight Howard. You got Rudy, and who else?
Dwight Howard cannot. What's the record that we have for Dwight Howard?
I said who's the better defender?
Ben don't play perimeter defense. I don't know what is it that you're trying to create here.
You can't
I
even
said
put
who's
them
a
in
better
order. We just giving
defender.
you some names. Put them
What
in
do you mean?
order. Tell me who you.
What
Tell me
Put
who
in
you
an
would
order,
take from
1 to
Rudy.
If you're
4.
talking about better player, of course they're a better player
I'm
than
I'm not saying
Gobert.
better player. I said
We're just
defensively.
talking about defense. We're
Defense.
just talking defense. We're not
Okay,
talking
but so
offense, better player.
talking
We just
about
talking about.
talking about defense, the records are Rudy Gobert has won more defensive player than them.
So give me your order then. I
Okay, so
gave
I'll
you.
go Rudy Gobert. I'll go Anthony Davis.
You
Well,
ain't
I mean, you
truthful.
ask as much as you want. We have
You
records, right?
you ain't truthful.
No, I know.
So
Rudy,
okay,
I know he won 4 of them. Rudy, I know,
I'm talking
but
about
at the
not
same,
okay. So I'm responding to the question itself. The question is not who's the best player.
I know, but at the same
It's not
time,
that you
at the
know.
same
I'm
time,
talking about the question is who's the best. The question is not who's the best player. The question is how do I rank them defensively? And what we
so
have as record is we have Rudy Gobert, who has won 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
four.
What's the record that we have for Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo? Hello, thank you.
Yeah, actually, I want. So I don't get it. So I guess NBA players are lying.
What do you mean?
I guess NBA players are lying when they talk about Rudy.
Bro, that's what we talk. Listen, just the fact that you're NBA players doesn't mean that what you're saying is just there's sheer value to it. We have Nate as the closest, analogy. Just the fact that you played the game doesn't mean that what you say is true. There's analysis, there's psychology of the game. You know what I mean? So when they vote defensive or best player in the league, you can have as many opinions, as you want, but ultimately we base the decision on facts. There's ways that we calibrate every aspect of the game. When they do this, they find that Rudy Gobert deserves to have won 3 best player, defensive player of the year. We don't have this for Anthony Davis, as good as he is. We don't have this for Bam Adebayo, as good as he is. We're not talking about best player. If you want to talk about best player, I don't even think
That's why I said put Ben Wallace and Dwight Howard in the conversation. The guys who won 3.
Dwight Howard was a great defender, but he was not known for a perimeter defender. He was not known for this.
I'm talking about who's a better defender. I said who's a better defender. Who's a better defender?
Who?
Them 3: Ben Wallace, Dwight Howard, and Rudy Gobert. Put it in 3.
When you say better, in terms of what?
As a who's number 1, who's number 2, who's number 3?
I would go as far as what the records show. The records show that Rudy Gobert has won 3 times Defensive Player of the Year.
Dwight Howard has won 3 times. Ben Wallace has won 3 times.
He won it 3 times too?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So
that's why I said put it like that.
So Ben Wallace, I didn't watch him much, but I would go with Dwight Howard for the fact that he's a little stronger. He has much more gut. And also obviously offensively, there's no even comparison. But it's beside the point because none of these players they playing right now.
No, but we just have to go because you keep bringing up this defensive player of the year, so I have to bring that included.
Facts.
That's what I'm saying. I understand that. I get it, but that's why I brought up Ben Wallace and Dwight Howard. Where do Rudy Gobert fit in that category? So you put number 2?
I would go Dwight Howard. I would go Rudy Gobert and Ben Wallace.
Well, Ben Wallace had to stick Shaq.
Yeah, it is. When it comes to Shaq, it's more about physicality.
Nigga, yeah.
There's nothing. There was a lot of centers back then, boy, than now, boy. I ain't gonna lie, but hey,
Shaq was just playing bully basketball. That's about it.
But onto if the Bucks lose first round, is it the end of Giannis' era with the Bucks?
I don't think so. I don't think he want to go anywhere. If he do, then he do. But I don't think it's the end of his era with the Bucks. I think he want to stay.
What you think, Rudy?
I mean, I don't know. It's a little iffy because at times, he talks in the way that there's a possibility of him leaving the team. But I think it's more of him being forced when he talks this way. But I think anything can happen depending on who they choose to trade him, or depending on how it happened too. He gets too frustrated. I think it's a possibility. But ultimately, if you wanna, if I were to put my money, I don't think he will leave. I don't see him. I don't foresee him leaving the Bucks because I think he's been with them. They drafted them, right? They drafted
Yeah.
him. He's won with them. I think part of him, he's very loyal. I think if they sit down and have a meaningful conversation with him, break it down the way that they're supposed to, and of course, combined with Damian Lillard willing to work with him as well, I can foresee a situation where they keep him over there. But this has to be broken down. It's not about firing the coach. It's about having the meaningful conversation. Have the coach who, hey, you need to coach, but also we need to initiate somebody between Dame and Lillard as a point guard that can orchestrate the offense for them.
I think for me, I think they should just blow up the roster. Honestly, blow up the roster.
I don't think that's the solution, RJ. The reason why that's not the solution because the piece that they're missing is too much of an easy piece for them to get. You as
But at the same
as
time, Rudy,
manager,
listen, hold on. Same time, Rudy, I feel like they missing who's a athletic center too. Because Brook Lopez, this man, he looks slow on the court.
I think they
RJ,
might let him
But
go after this
they don't
anyway.
look fast.
I think he's going after this
missing
anyway.
the elephant in the room, RJ. The elephant in the room when you have very few teams in the history of the game, very few team has had the chance to combine somebody like Giannis and Damian Lillard on the same team, RJ. When you have this opportunity, you need to do all you can for you to not only maintain it but also use it.
No, of course.
You cannot
But
have.
I'm just talking about the role players.
Team and not find a way to to insert that missing piece, which is a true point guard. You just mentioned somebody like Holiday. Had he been on the team, that would have happened a lot because he's a complete opposite of Damian and Giannis, who are two people whose intention is to score the basket. Somebody like Drew Holiday, somebody like a true point guard like Chris Paul, what it would have been, he would have been an equalizer between them. He would not even mind Dame playing the way that he does. He would not even mind Giannis playing the way that he does. But he would make sure that everybody on the team eat at the right time, and that alone would be enough for them to make it to the top, RJ.
But still, Rudy, I feel like they missing defense. They missing shooting. They missing a good defender in from the center position. Like Miles Turner is cooking Lopez.
That's not the reason why if they were winning, that would have been the last thing to come in your mind, RJ.
Of course, you're right. At the same time, but they're losing. You said facts. You say you with the facts. They're losing right now.
There's artifact also. There's fact. There's artifact also.
The man averaged 17 points.
Huh?
He's averaging 17 points against Brook Lopez. Turner.
The reason why that's what happened, but that's not the reason why they're losing.
I understand that.
It's one of the reasons why they're losing, though.
But it's one of the reasons why they're losing.
Yeah, but you need to categorize the reason why that they're losing, RJ.
No, they missing defenders. They missing wing defenders too.
It's not
Rudy. Yeah, they have no defenders.
You just
who's their defender? They don't have a real solid defender. They don't have a defender.
Giannis is a great.
Instead of Giannis. I know. Instead of Giannis.
Huh?
Instead of Giannis, who is there and guy who could defend?
Bobby
cannot defend, bro. He cannot defend.
Bobby's a great defender, RJ. Bobby's a great defender.
He's not a good defender.
Good defender.
Who?
Trent Jr. is a good defender.
You're
doing what Skip Bayless does all the time. He will pick and choose an aspect of what happened.
He's not a good defender. Those other guys you said are not good defenders. I watched the game. They're not defending. They worry about the offense so much.
No, like I said, it's all come down to perception, RJ. It's not about
the thing is, I want the Bucks to win in 7. I said it. I said I want the Bucks to win the 7, but for them to get it done, they're gonna have to defend. Bro,
No,
the boys, the
them to
Pacers,
get
they
it,
shooting threes like it's nothing.
they
getting wide open uncustomized.
because this is what you're missing in your diagnosis. You looking at the Pacers, you think because they won because they have one individual person scoring. The Pacers don't play this way.
No,
The
they play all
hold on,
together.
finish my thought. You miscategorizing the character. I mean, the way that the Pacers playing. You looking at one person that score X amount of points. You think that's the reason why that they win. That's
No,
not the
I'm not looking at that.
The Pacers playing team basketball.
I know that they play college basketball.
For the basket. Now, because of your perception, you're gonna find yourself losing in the X and O's every night because you don't see where the problem is stemming from.
No,
the problem,
but Rudy, I'm agreeing with you about the point guard situation. I'm agreeing with you, but at the same time, you have to see the other problems too. They don't play no defense. They don't get down up and down the floor.
It's a reflection of the problem, RJ. We all can misconstrue the problem with the reflection of the problem. I'm not saying that but I'm just telling you saying the reflection of the problem, but that's not the problem itself.
I get that, but you saying Trent, he was never known for a defender, right?
No,
you said
what I'm saying, RJ, they can defend. They're not in top 10, top 15 defenders in the league. But what I'm trying to have you understand is that if they have, you cannot have somebody like Dame, somebody like Giannis playing. They're too powerful offensively, and they can play defense. So it's not that they scrub; they can play defense too. And you have role players. That's a recipe for you to win. But the missing part is the fact that they don't have somebody in between to equalize.
They need dogs
to get everybody involved. So what you're gonna have happening, you're going to accrue a lot of losses, and then when the losses taking place like that, you're going to pinpoint on people like you're going to point fingers at people like Trent Jr. or the role players, but that's not the real issue. The real issue is the fact that they don't have a point guard to equalize everything. That's the problem.
Yeah, but at the same time, Rudy, they not playing no defense, bro. If you got a point guard doing all that at the same time, you're not playing defense, you can't stop nobody.
No, it's not that they cannot stop nobody, RJ. You missing the point. It's not that they cannot stop nobody. It's
okay, Rudy, hold on. Beginning of the year, what happened to them when they started the year? They wasn't playing good because of why? They wasn't playing no defense. They had nobody to guard. They couldn't guard nobody.
No, are you trying to compare the regular season versus with the playoff? The playoff is totally different, RJ. You playing against a team about matchup. You playing against a team like the
right.
They're known as the top fastest team in the league. They have a great point guard. They have a lot of role players that can shoot the ball. And then if you fit well in their role, RJ, this is exactly what they have happening for them.
Yes, that's why you saying my argument. They need better teammates. Brother. Pacers role players are better than the Bucks role players. So hold on, Rudy.
You don't know.
Wait, Rudy.
You cannot even evaluate the role players.
I am.
No, you cannot.
But you're telling me a point guard would make a difference in this Bucks offense with this team.
Yeah, RJ. You have exactly.
So you're saying the Bucks? So Chris Paul was on that team. You think the Bucks gonna win?
If Chris Paul's on the team, I will take the Bucks in 5.
Hell no.
Okay, so it all comes down to how you can break it down.
Hell no. For me, listen, I'm saying the Bucks in 7 because
here's what you're missing, RJ. Here's what you're missing. You, like I said, you making your point just like Skip Bayless makes his points all the time. You take a piece of what happened and you extrapolate it with your intention. Although the piece that you take, it happens. You trying to make a case that their defense is the problem. That's not the case. The problem that they have is the fact that they don't have somebody to coordinate, to galvanize the talent that they have. And of course, that reflects in the defense also. But if you had somebody like Chris Paul that could let Giannis do what he does, that could let Dame do what he does, and of course they will obliterate somebody on a team like the Pacers. Why? Because they have too much offense, and of course the role players
Nah,
they will start to play their role to a point where you would not even think about the defense, because it's not that they scrub in defense. They're not top 10 in defense, but it's not that they scrubs in defense. It's just that the
nah.
team is losing in a way, and of course when they lose like that, the only way for you to justify their loss is that they're not playing defense. But the real issue is not them not playing defense. It's the fact that they don't have an offense that's organized for everybody.
No, I get
Especially
that part. I get that part.
when you playing somebody, especially when you're playing somebody, a team like the Pacers. RJ, it's not
It
that
just the Pacers are young and fast. That's all.
it's not
The
that
Bucks are
simple.
just slow. They just
Not-
slow.
The slowness I just explaining to you, RJ, they look slow is because they too predictable.
They're what? I didn't hear you.
They look slow is because they are too predictable.
I mean, of course. I've been saying that all year. Like they just go 1-on-1 the whole time. That's not basketball. But they do need wing guys. They do. They need the wing guys. They do. They need it. Just like when the Lakers need the wing guys, they got it now. Bucks need them because we didn't have Smith when Vandal was out and all that. LeBron was trying to play defense, and LeBron can't play defense now. Now he got them guys. LeBron relaxed on defense, so they need them guys, especially Giannis always injured. They need them guys. But let's go on to the next though. So another first round game, but we got OKC defeated Memphis 118-99 to go up 2-0. What defensive adjustment do the Memphis Grizzlies need to make to contain the Thunder offense?
I don't think they can make any adjustments. OKC is just too much of a powerhouse, bro. I don't think there's nothing Memphis can do, bro. Memphis is really giving it their all, bro, but there's mismatches all across the court. Like, literally. I don't think there's much they can do. If they do, I just tap my hat off to the coach, but I don't think there's much they could do, bro. It's looking like, I think they might just get one. They'll get one dub.
I feel like they're tired, though.
That's because it's a powerhouse. They're playing a powerhouse team.
No, not even that, bro. They look before the season ended. They played 2 back-to-back. Then after that, they had to go play in. So they went to go play the Warriors. They lost that. They went to go play another play in. After 2 days later, they have to play number 1 seed. 2 days later, they still have to play the number 1 seed. They play tomorrow too.
They knew that though coming in. They knew that. They knew if they beat Golden State, they gotta face the number 1. They knew that. Hey, sometimes you just gotta put your head down and grind. You gotta put your head down and grind.
The schedule really, really messed them up. Because they're not doing that for no West team. But not East team. I mean, they don't do it for West team. They play every other day.
You got to keep the game going, though.
That's crazy, though.
Looking like they're about to get swept, though, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, for Ja scoring 20 in the regular season is cool and all, but bro, you got to step it up. You got to drop like 30, 35 bombs now. Bane got to drop 20, 25 bombs now. Jared Jackson, boy, you got to drop 15 to 20. You got to amp it up.
Not even get some rebounds.
Hey, I'm telling you, OKC, bro, they got that center. They got Chet. Like, bro, you got Jalen Williams, bro. Come on, bro. Like, I'm just saying, for Memphis, OKC's a powerhouse team. Like, they running right through them. Other teams may slow OKC down, but right now this is just like it's a mismatch.
Yeah, it's a mismatch for a lot of reasons. Go ahead, Rudy.
I am with you on that, Boogie, because it's such a powerhouse. When it comes to the OKC, their record, show it. It's not a hoax. It's been like that for the past 2 years, and obviously they have the Shea as the MVP. I think there's no debate on this, and of course they have they have a young roster that's willing to compete. That you can even make a case that they willing, obviously, to give it all to make it to the top. So it's a powerhouse. I can foresee the series, goes as far as 5. That's the best I think the Grizzlies can do. Yes, we have to put respect on Ja Morant because he is Ja Morant. He can score on anybody. Of course, Bain that can shoot the ball also, but now he's turning into a point guard. I'm not sure that's the best for the team. And of course, they have a young roster as well. But when it comes to the Thunders, it's been what it's been for the past 2 years. They have the best team in basketball. Yet to have accrued playoff experience, but they up there, they coming. So it's just too much for them to handle at the Grizzlies. And I can see that. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll give the Grizzlies the benefit of the doubt. Go back home, maybe win game 3. Of course, will lose game 4 and go back to OKC. The OKC will wrap a goal in the series and move on to the second round in the playoffs.
That's true. That's true. But you know, so crazy. Shea not been playing good.
It's not that he's not playing good. He's just that numbers not what they look. Is not what they are.
Yeah, I feel like
You know, listen.
his
Listen,
team
if they are
stepping in,
losing,
his team stepping
no,
up.
no, you
Though.
can't. You can't say that because he getting the same shots. He took
No, I said
he
his
took
team
29
stepping up.
shots. He took 29 shots. The first game, I believe he took 27 shots. So he's still getting the same shots.
Well, I ain't say nothing about the shots. I said his team stepping up. Chat
No, I'm
dropping.
saying you saying like his team stepping up, yes, but at the same time, he's still getting his shots.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. It's fair because you take as many shots, you should be able to make as many you're accustomed to make during the regular season. But the reality of it all, RJ, the reason why that we cannot hold this against him is the
Yeah,
fact
they
that
winning.
the team still produce, is still winning at the same rate, the way that we expected it to win. Had they
Yeah,
lost that,
that would have
then
been a
I would,
big.
had they lost, there I would be like, okay, what's going on here? Okay, are we looking at the James Harden situation, or are we looking at at a player that can perform in the regular season but not in the postseason? I don't think that's a reality for it. I think in due time, when they need it, trust will come, as he's shown this many times.
I ain't gonna lie. He better show it if they win this round. I mean, obviously it look like they're gonna win. He better show it next round because boy, they gonna get Denver or Clippers for sure. And them
I,
the team we can't play around.
yeah, I yeah, I mean, I mean, I expect him to be much more accurate because what we've seen, especially over the past 2 years. They lost last year, but it was not because of him not
At
performing.
all.
It was
At
just
all.
a team. It was the team that's not
That let him down. Nobody came to play but him.
Yeah, of course.
you know. So I cannot see no flaws in his character. I think he's a bona fide
I think
scorer.
he gonna do what he do. He gonna always do what he do.
Yeah. And
Of course.
last point, just like you saying that he took the shot and he just happened to miss. Now you could have made a stronger case had he not taken the shot. You know what I mean? Because what
Yeah.
we know, all bona fide players like the Kobe of the world, the Michael Jordan of the world, all bona fide scorer, they will take the shot regardless they missing or not. You know what I mean? They will take the shot.
Yeah.
They know that they work on their craft so much for them to be scared not to take a shot. You know what I mean?
No, Shea gonna shoot
Uh,
it. Shea
yeah,
gonna shoot it.
yeah.
he gonna get at least 25 to 27 shots a game. He gonna shoot it.
Doesn't that remind you of somebody, Boogie, that you
Who?
close to?
Who?
Doesn't that remind you of somebody that you close to, that you play ball with all the time?
Who? Vondo? Javon? Ooh.
See, you tripped now.
I mean, he ain't
I know
lying
you
about
ain't talking
Javon
about
though.
you.
He
I
ain't
know
lying
you
about Javon though.
talking about you.
Javon be
But
taking some
you
dumb
know,
shots.
shot boogie. You know that.
I don't know nothing. I know you take a lot of shots and miss them motherfuckers. I know that.
Whatever, boogie.
But on to the next though. So we got some games today, man. We got Magic versus Boston. Who y'all got? I think Jason Tatum not playing, so who y'all got?
I got Boston. I mean, no. I'm sorry. My bad. I got Magic. My bad. I got Magic.
Because Jalen Brown not 100% with his knee.
Yeah, I got Magic. I like what Ventura doing, boy. That boy, that is a monster. But I got Boston. I mean, I keep saying Boston. I got Magic.
We got Rudy. What Jason Tatum may not play.
I know it's very tempting to pick the Magic because of what they've shown over the past 2 years. They've shown that they have grit, they can compete, and they showed this also in the postseason last year. But it's tempting, but at the same time, I'll still go with Boston Celtics. I think the depth of the team will be in display tonight, and will be displayed tonight. I'm talking about from Jalen Brown. I think he's gonna go crazy tonight, although there's still question about his health. But I'm looking at him tonight, being the great player he is, and then of course we have Drew Holiday that can pin them down when it comes to defense and passing the ball also. And we have Derek White who's going to shoot the ball. We have Pritchard who's going to shoot the ball also. I think the depth of the team will be displayed tonight. I'm still going with the Boston.
You know, it's so crazy. The past 3 years, right? When Jason Tatum don't play, guess who wins?
Boston.
Magics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they said on ESPN today. I seen. It, I was like, damn, that's crazy. But Vegas still had Boston winning. I mean,
I just feel
obviously
like
Boston is.
I just feel like Magic gonna get them a victory. Whether this one or next one, Magic gonna get them a
I
victory.
think, yeah, I think so. I think so also, Boogie. But I think the game that there's only one game that I think they're going to win, and it's gonna be the first game that they play back home. They're going to win this game, and I think the Boston Celtics will, muscle up
Winning
and
five.
the second game at Orlando, and of course go back home and wrap a bow on the series.
But for me tonight, I'm gonna go with underdog. I got Magic Heat versus Cleveland. Who I got, man?
Cleveland all day, man. Cleveland.
Cleveland
Yeah,
going two up,
well, I'll go
2-0.
to Cavs. I think it's too much
Easily.
of a powerhouse against the Heat.
It's the
Yes,
same thing.
respect Bam. You have to respect Tyler Hero. I think he's a rising superstar. You have to respect all of this. You have to be acknowledgeable. I mean, you have to acknowledge the Heat culture, which obviously make them in the playoff. But at the same time, we cannot be dismissive of what the Cavs been doing over the past 2 years, especially this year alone. They one of the best team in basketball. They play great defense. They have a finisher in Donovan Mitchell, and they have a great point guard in Garland. And of course, they have the coaching. It's just too much for the Heat culture. I think they will win one game. That's going to be back in the Heat. I mean, in Miami, but that's about it. That's about it. Barring injury or barring any glitch from the Cavs, I can foresee this series finishing in 5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I got Heat tonight too.
too much for the Heat to overcome when it comes to playing
I mean,
Cleveland.
not Heat. I got the Cleveland. I got the Cavs. I got Cavs
The
tonight.
Heat will have to play a perfect game, and when they do, they still liable to lose. It's
Yeah,
just too much to ask for playing against a powerhouse team like Cleveland. Just like we was
true.
talking about with OKC.
OKC. Yeah,
Just
but on to the next, though. We got one last game, man. We got the Warriors versus Rockets. Who y'all got?
what's this game 2?
Yeah, game 2.
Uh, Warriors.
Yeah.
How? I don't know how the Rockets played like the last couple minutes, even though they had to play superhero ball.
I'm gonna tell you this, bro. What's his name? Sengu. I ain't gonna lie, he did his thing. That's what he's supposed to do, especially against a smaller person like Draymond or whatever like that. But Green can't come on, bro. That's a bad game. You can't be doing that, bro.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna have a bad game tonight. I don't think so.
I mean, he can't have it. He can't. He has to step up tonight.
So
But
let me ask you this question: are you saying Warriors gonna win because he's gonna have a bad game tonight?
no. I don't expect him to have a bad game again. But I just going off of Warriors just off the strength. I
Okay.
like Warriors over Rockets.
Okay.
And then you already know, you see what Jimmy doing playoff Jimmy things. And then Curry doing Curry things. Draymond go and find them, off the strength of them boys.
Okay. Go ahead, Rudy.
Boogie, it's kind of hard to argue against your point, but
What's that noise?
in the Warriors for the past 2 months, ever since they acquired Jimmy Butler, they probably won what? Over 80% of the games, especially when Matt hosts.
Yeah.
They probably have won 90% of the games. They had shown this obviously in the last game, in the first game of the series. They came, they conquered, they won the game. And there's a part of my mind that's saying that they probably going to do the same thing tonight, because obviously they have Steph Curry, they have the experienced coach, they have players that can play their role. Yeah, it's easy to think this way, but I'm gonna have to go against them because of what Houston Rockets has shown to be as a very competitive team throughout the entire regular season. Obviously, they finished as second in the West, finishing second in the West. And I'm not talking about 1 or 2 games. They finished second in the West, I think, about 5 games. We have to put some respect on them, just like they will show this tonight. I think that they're gonna come and play with grits tonight. They're going to get very physical with the Warriors. They're going to match up the intensity of the Warriors, and I think just like we saw Jalen Green, didn't do nothing in the first game. I think that he's gonna come tonight and play his best game, because he is not a superstar, but he's a star in the league. He has the ability to shoot the basket. He's very young. He can go to the paint. I think we're going to see all of this tonight. I think the combination of the coach, the combination of the character that they have, and Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, they're going to play their best game tonight. And I think ultimately they will come on top tonight. That alone doesn't mean that they will win the series, because I think that the Warriors might be able to get to win in 7. But I think tonight the Rockets are going to win this game.
Yeah, me too. I got Rockets tonight. I don't think Jalen Green will have a bad performance. It just he can't. This really his future.
He can't afford to.
This is future right now.
He got to drop 20. He got to drop 25 points, bro. He can't afford to have another bad game.
This is future, because, bro, if he don't play good this series, he can trade this offseason.
Whoa, traded.
You made it this far. You made it second seed. You gotta get traded.
I don't know about traded. That's kind of tough. You gonna trade him?
At the same time, if he's not performing, Boogie, why you have him for? To play the regular season?
Hey, I mean, I don't know about trading them. But it's just like Cunningham. Cunningham had a bad game.
No.
Cunningham
is different. That's my guy. He's different. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't come
he
from
did
my
have
guy.
a bad game though, and he stepped up. He stepped up to the plate the second game. Man had what? 30
I understand what you said, but don't come back my guy.
I'm just saying, from a bad game to a good game.
Yeah, of course.
I
mean, he had a monster game.
Yeah, and that's what Jalen Green got to do basically, bro. He got to either will his team to a win, or he got to drop some numbers, bro. Like,
and let's not even talk about Jalen Green. Let's talk about Fred, because he has to come through too. Fred is mad. He missed 8 threes in a row until the fourth quarter.
What more do you want from him though, but to shoot threes? What more do you want from
But he's a veteran though. He's a veteran.
But
He'll missing wide open threes.
yeah, I get it.
Timely threes that
Either
they
you
needed.
make or you miss. Either you make or you miss, because you can't expect more. You don't want him to drive to the paint. What else you want him to do? But to go out there and shoot.
True, but I mean he's
That's
known
probably
to
his
drive
best
to the paint
capability
too.
right now is to shoot.
No, but he's known to drive to the paint too. Remember, don't forget, they already got no big man down there. Draymond the 5.
Yeah, but still, you ain't gonna go down there and try Draymond. You gonna contest everything that comes his way.
Yeah. Again, thank y'all for coming on. I appreciate y'all boys. And I'm out.
All right.
All right.